Reflections, regret, revenge. Whatever happened to the DA? You wake up in a body that is your own, yet feels foreign, new. You stretch your arms and your skin like you're trying on a suit, and get up. William, the Colonel, Darling is there, and one of you flinches back and the two of you pull forward, listening with rapt attention as this man, murderer, lover, falls apart, watching as he walks away, the sound of his broken laughter and calls for names that they are no longer allowed to have, fading into the background ambience of the manor. They walk to grab his cane, and you realize your hand doesn't look quite right, that you don't feel quite right. You look up, and your face is dark and stormy, and you try to blink, or move, or do something, but your body is no longer yours, and eyes that are no longer your own stare at you, the broken neck that is no longer your own, and you can still feel the ache and sting, twisting, and you hear something snap back into place, your vision blurred by static cracks of the mirror that you were trapped in. You're trapped in a mirror. The being that is your friend, his sister, and something else, glares at you and takes in a harsh breath through its nose before disappearing, and you are lost in the inky blackness that is the space behind the mirror, a dimension unknown. Damien, you dare to breathe, the first word you've spoken since you've arrived, because you place your small hand on the surface of the cracked mirror, trembling, and it doesn't budge an inch. You can't understand what is happening. You don't know what's going on. Damien, you whisper again, voice shaking, and your voice echoes in the emptiness, and the manor is silent as a grave. Your own. Time doesn't seem as though it is passing. Days pass like hours, and hours like years, and you don't know what is happening. Blood continues to drip out of your bullet wound, and some out of your mouth, and your neck feels twisted and it's hard to hold your head up. You lie down and stare up at what would be a ceiling if the endless expanse had one. Everything is black, and you don't know how you're not falling into an abyss where the walls are, or why the ground is placed exactly the same to how the manor floor was placed, so your head just sits below the top of the mirror by an inch or two, and you stare out into the empty manor, and you wait, and you wait. You expect Damien to arrive sooner or later, to appear with some grand plan to fix everything, to make sure everyone is okay. By everyone, you mean at least the people who are still alive. Not once does it cross your mind that he will not return for you, because you have shared so much with him. You are Diggory Ainsley, and the word boy or man never sat right with you as it passed through strangers and family members and friends' lips. But you would never tell anyone else, never breathe a word of it to anyone you knew, because being a politician is hard enough without being so very, very different from everyone else. But you told Damien, and he calls you friend, a word without gender that makes your heart warm. So he must be arriving soon enough, you think. He must be finding a way for everyone to regain their bodies, you're sure of it. Your mind whispers traitorous thoughts, and you try to ignore them. But as time goes on, they grow louder and louder, and your heart grows colder and starts to betray you as well. A year passes. 2. You learn to make things out of the darkness, and you make chalk after months of concentration to tally the years, and 2 feels like a millennium. You've never been one for crowds, nor have you been one for talking, but you spend your days whispering to yourself, shouting, eventually, begging and pleading for someone to arrive, someone to fill the void of silence with enough noise to stop you from going mad. The blood stops flowing from the wound in your side. You feel as though you have none left. The pain all starts to numb, and your body feels cold. Well, your true body doesn't, because it is long gone, as something else with something else. But the false representation of your body, made by memories of it, created to be the picture of your soul, shivers with a chill. You feel less and less full, more empty, with each passing moment. You whisper Damien's name like a prayer, waiting for him to arrive, still expecting him to. He always believed you to be stubborn in all the right ways. Your stubborn trust turns out to be a wrong one. Your stubborn hope that he'll appear, that he still cares for you at all, is a wrong one as well. Year 6, and people arrive. 2 young men in their teens, curious about the abandoned manor steeped in mystery and betrayal and blood. They sneak in through the back door, and even though you cannot see them, you can feel their presence. The way one of them trails their hand against the wall as they walk, upturning dust. It feels as though his fingers are brushing against your skin, and you shudder. And the manor seems to shudder as well, a slight tremor making its way through the walls and floors and filling the air with newly disturbed dust. The men come towards the front of the manor, and you see them, young, well-groomed, suits similar to your own, though theirs are better maintained and newer. Your eyes can see their emotions, blurry at first, but with each passing second growing more and more clear. You can see their hopes, dreams, desires, and pains. Their pains are the clearest, a blue cloud of feeling that sharply resonates within you. A feeling of emptiness, and loss, and hurt. You reach out on autopilot, curious, invisible trendles of dark, almost black. Blue, poke those lighter blue clouds, and they mix in, turning the light blue clouds darker and more active. You watch as tears start to form in their eyes, thinking about the mother, gone a year ago from illness. And you regret it a moment later. What are you doing? This is wrong. You know this. You pull back, and the men leave soon after, disturbed by the emptiness and emotion clouding their thoughts. You feel fuller, however, after they leave. It's as though you just ate a hot meal after starving for weeks, years, the years trapped in the mirror. Something is satiated in a way you don't understand, and curiously you place your hand once more against your window to the outside world. A pulse of energy forms at your fingertips, slight and small, but there, and starts to try and budge one of the pieces of the cracked mirror. You blink in surprise, but it clicks, and you realize what you have to do to escape. You promise yourself you won't hurt anyone else. However, despite the high the action of doing so gives you, you're still reeling from the jolt of energy you got from those 2 men. Desire and morality war within you. You are a good person. Good people don't hurt others if they can help it. You sit and stare into the void. You feel so cold. 10 years pass before someone else arrives. A crew of people, actually. And in that time, the cold of the void has seeped into your skin and turned it blue. Your eyes drip with tears on occasion, but they only seem to fill you with a sense of desire. A search for more pain to spread. Your soul feels numb, and it's becoming harder to feel anything at all. Something akin to fear and horror tries to save you, tries to force you to cling to what little semblance of your care and humanity you have left, but you feel yourself slipping with every second, minute, hour, day, week, month, year. Damien will come soon, you think, but the words feel hollow in your head. A childish, naive part of you still clings to the thought, refusing to let go. Damien will come, you dream, wish, valiantly hope. It's all you have. In this place you are trapped in. Hope for a person you still desperately believe in, the belief that he will come and save you and you will feel whole again. You feel the group's shoes against the creaking floors, hear their voices, whispers, and yet so loud in the void, like they are right next to you, and you can taste their pain and sadness, some old and some new, on the top of your tongue, and the empathy you prided yourself for doesn't appear. You see something to relate to. Have you not felt pain and sadness? Is that not all you have? But nothing makes you feel anything, save for excitement. The promise you made to yourself dissolves in your memory as desire takes hold. You can use them to escape this place, you think. You can use them to find Damien. Your invisible tendrils poke and prod in the various rooms the crew has split into. You are treated to tears and hollowness from them all. The bittersweet feeling you know all too well sinking into your skin. You feel fuller and more awake, and the people in the manor feel emptier and more tired. A flicker of something that was who you were before all of this pulls you back, and there is a line you refuse to cross. You watch the people wipe their eyes, watch them regroup and make various excuses so they can all leave together. You sit back and try to remember who you are. You are Diggory Ainsley. You care about people. You are a good person. The last one feels less and less true the more you think about it. More and more years pass. In the next 34 years, you drink the sorrow of around 24 different people to varying degrees. Your skin and clothes are now washed in a new shade of dark, making your blue skin now blue-gray, dark brown hair nearly black. You do not know what your eyes look like, but they feel different. It is in that 50th year that something within you snaps, a part of you broken and shattered. Your heart. Your eyes well up with bitter tears, and that name bubbles to your lips. Damien! You scream, and the manor rattles with the tidal wave of pain and anguish and betrayal, because you've waited, and he has not come. And finally that trembling cord of hope and trust, frayed after weathering years of abuse, snaps, and with it does your love disappear into something dark and angry and broken. Damien! You roar, and thunder and lightning ripples through the building, a storm unleashed as you finally give up on the one person you thought you would never doubt. You drop to your knees, and the pain overwhelms you, swallowing you whole as you try to make sense of what to do, how to feel. Anger and sadness and hurt and confusion, the question of why he would do this to you, why would he leave you to rot, warring in your head. A sharp thought pierces your mind, and for a moment everything stops as you process it. Then you begin to tremble, not with sadness or fear, but with rage. He did this to you. You trusted him. You loved him like a brother. You told him everything, and he... Damien! You growl, spit out with a vehemence that should surprise you, but nothing can anymore. Ice spilling out of your chest, and sending shockwaves of cold through you. The pieces of your heart, like shards of ice, and the tears continue to fall down your face. You make no effort to wipe them away anymore. You are going to find him. You are going to make him feel everything. He is going to suffer. And you scream out every bit of agony built up in the last 50 years, and clouds swirl around the manor and drench the grounds in a terrible, violent downpour. You stop caring about people in the coming years. Anger and bitterness makes you colder and colder, and you push the line farther and farther with every unlucky soul that stumbles into the manor. You add a new emotion to your repertoire. Anger. A mix of sadness and anger. Anguish. You watch as it pulls people apart and tears holes in them, and you feel nothing but satisfaction. You cannot feel sorry for them. They get to leave, and you are trapped, placed in a prison of misery after being betrayed by the one you trusted most. Left to rot for all eternity. Nothing you do to others can compare, so you feel nothing as you do it. You watch a family fall apart and members swear to never speak to each other again. You watch lovers throw their engagement rings at each other and stalk away in opposite directions. You watch friendships crumble and people break, and you grow more and more powerful, more and more cold, more and more blank. You are. Over 30 more years pass. The manner is outdated. People come in with things you don't recognize, cameras and microphones and smartphones and technology. You take it all in stride. Times may change, but misery does not. Slowly but surely, you step into the cracked mirror, placing your hand against it. You're ready. You pull your hand back, clenching it into a fist. You've never been one for violence, but then again, there's so little of you left that it doesn't matter. You reel back and throw a mighty blow against the glass, and your hand screams in pain, but you feel the glass shatter. You look out and you see the world open to you for the first time in over 80 years, and you do not hesitate to leap into that world. And you look back as your feet brush against the floor, but they do not settle there, because you float. In your reflection, as shattered as it is, you see your eyes, pitch black. The once hazel orbs are lost to the inky darkness. That should concern you, but you feel nothing. You do not feel the wind, nor the sun, but nothing. Tears still slip down your cheeks. You don't know what to do next, but then something catches your eye. A tear in reality, large enough for something to slip through. You can see traces that have said somethings by it. Red, blue, black, and pink auras swirling by and disappearing into it. The blue catches your attention. Damien. Before you can even think, you're diving headfirst through that tear, tumbling through different realities as you follow the trail to a place you're unfamiliar with. Bustling streets, full of cars and people in attire you don't recognize. You float through them, and those privy to the feeling shiver as you go through them. The trail becomes murky, and you growl in frustration. You need a vessel, you think. You can feel one calling your name. When you arrive at their residence, you go through the walls to come inside and study them. They look familiar. Staring at them is like looking in a mirror into the past, and you follow them to their bedroom. They sleep, and you slip inside them, resting comfortingly against their soul, like you fit there. Not a possession, yet, but an inhabitants, a place to stay. It is tiring to be outside a vessel for too long. Soon you will find Damien. Soon he will suffer, like you have suffered. But for now, the boy you inhabit dreams of you, a flower, people, words unintelligible. He will wake up to the vision of a person with his face, with void eyes, and a name lost to time. You are blank.